good morning, or if you're in the States, good afternoon. We're here at Adelaide, South Australia at the Beta Birdwood event. And there are 1,750 cars here at this parade grounds kind of soccer pitch that are going to take off here in just a little bit and head up the hills, about 50 miles up to the Birdwood Motoring Museum, which is kind of the Smithsonian of Australia. And all these cars make the trip up. There was roads closed all through town, and as far as I can tell, and if anybody out there knows any different, this is the largest event of its kind. There's larger car shows, but I don't think there's larger tours with 1,700 cars all going on one route on a tour, and all kinds of cool cars. Part of the fun here is you dress up in the era of your car, and there's all kinds of eras, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, so all kinds of different costumes and all kinds of different cars. There's Australian, Japanese, English, American, and some really cool Australian cars that we don't get to see in the States. And we'll just take a look around. It's really, really cool, all kinds of different stuff, and a really nice drive up through the hills, through the wine country. Just replace the eucalyptus trees with oak trees and replace the deer with kangaroos, and it's pretty much the same. Nice little foothills towns just up the way up there. I don't know if you can see the mountains in the background, but that's where we're headed later in the day. So I'll switch the camera around so you don't have to look at me anymore and take a look at some of the cars. Like I said, there's all kinds of cars. You see some Corvettes, you see, Coronas, MGBs, Holdens, Fords, all kinds of fun stuff. And the design is kind of wild. A lot of the cars you can tell are, you can tell that's a GM or a Chrysler product, but from an American design point of view, you just you can say, hey, that's a GM, but you don't know what the car is. It's kind of fun. A Statesman. That's pretty fun. Nice little Sunbeam. Of course, a Ford Ute. There's a lot of these around. The Falcon, which nameplate died out in America, but went on here for many, many years. $289 badge on a Ford, a four-door Ford. And of course, a Sandman van right here, which is very cool. It's kind of the hit the same note as the custom van craze in America in the 70s. Amazing Imperial. And celebrating the 60th year of the Mini here, there's a ton of Minis. All different configurations. There's Mokes. There's even a mini Ute up here, because Australia.
Right. That's done well.
There's There's a Holden Kingswood. But you can see the grounds here are just absolutely filled. 1,700 cars, probably 3 times as many people. We're all gonna launch off here in probably about a half hour and head through town, which Adelaide is a gorgeous town. Some fantastic costumes. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
And the main sponsor of this event is Shannon's, which is a lot like Haggerty. Back home, they do classic car insurance. And there's a couple cars up here leading the way that up until today I had never heard of. An Australian sports car called a Bulwell. This one's kind of done up hot rod style. I was told these came in a straight 6 or a V8. And there is a convertible version, a Roadster. Kind of has a little 250 GTO look to it and a little bit of a Montreal look to the doors, at least in the coupe version. There's the big gateway that everybody goes through. A couple Capris right here. You don't see those too often back in the States. And tons of people. It's a lot of fun. It's a great event. And people line the route all the way up to Birdwood. They come out and have picnics alongside the road, watch all the cars go by. It takes about 3 hours for all the cars to process through. And a Dixieland band, because why not? But people line the route through the middle of town and all the way up in the hills. It's a great excuse for a picnic. They put tables and chairs up, barbecue, you're waving constantly at people alongside the road all the way up. Probably 20,000-30,000 people show up on the route to watch the cars and just have a grand time. The Lotus Esprit. And a flatbed ute. Ford Fairlane. Four-door Fairlane.
Attentive event official found it on the ground and has handed it in. So check your camera. If the cap has fallen off, this may be yours. Come here just at the Shannon's tent and claim your property. Right. At 8 o'clock or thereabouts, which is now, we will we would like
a lot
to
of rebadged cars made it to the Australian market. They were Isuzus, Toyotas and such that got badged as Holdens and different brands for the domestic market here.
And then at 8:25, the mayor
Nice Jag.
will cut the banner, the ribbon.
Vaguely looks like a Ford. You can see the Ford design language in it.
Concourse and special group cars.
Big XB Falcon.
Cars by 8:15.
Kind of looks like a Mach 1.
For a phone or a camera.
Little Toronto.
The time on them these days. Also, there will be the welcome to country, and the mayors will assemble.
Looks like the Volvo Club has showed up.
At 8:15, and at 8:25 they will cut the ribbon, and 8:30 the
A
car.
Datsun 120Y.
So, all happening in the next 15 minutes.
Excuse me, not a Datsun, Toyota. Oh no, Datsun D. Yeah, that's part of the challenge.
Now, we have
And a
no
Daimler,
lost people,
probably
but
one of the
distressed.
ugliest cars here.
He's not a maiden. He never was a maiden. But we have a little piece of attention that we'd like to bring to your attention. In the
A Triumph Stag,
opposite the start,
extraordinarly rare. Made it
there's
here
a
under its own
beautiful
power.
Formula
That makes it probably one of the rarest
41
Triumph
Buick
Stags in the world.
In pale green, and it's wedged in by a motorcycle.
Fair Lady. There's some
Yamaha.
big,
It's two
big Cadillacs over here.
J. So
Whole line of Volvos.
and the Pontiac Trans Am, black one, VSN 803. So, folks, let's be a little kind. Don't wedge one another in, even if you're going to be there any minute. Please make just a minute and nick over there and move you. The man who owns the viewing, I won't embarrass him by saying who he is, but he's not happy. And
Alpha 4x4?
He would like to get out.
Alpha 33.
He needs your help. So the owner of
4x4.
the Yamaha
Cool sticker.
and of the black Trans Am, if you would go to that little side street opposite the start and move your vehicle, then our man in the pale green Buick can move away.
There's a Charger RT 265 Hemi. An engine we never saw in the States.
Yeah, well, I've just rang up my mortgage broker.
But the design language is certainly Chrysler.
Go for it. It's a Mustang.
Yeah. Tons of people. The food vendors are overwhelmed, as at every event, especially the coffee vendor this morning. There's bacon and eggs, there's coffee, and just a lovely day. It's about 65 degrees. It's supposed to get up to about 70 today. Come over here is a John Goss edition Falcon. Very cool special edition.
You can't help it. Eventually you'll see the line. You'll get over it.
Pretty cool. Just all kinds of cars. People really enjoyed the event. All kinds of costumes. What'd you bring?
Corvette,
68 Corvette?
Yes.
Well done.
But we got one of these.
Oh, yeah? That looks pretty badass.
Very close to 41 Buick
Nice big fender flares, rear wing on a car that's probably, it's about 3/4 size as far as an American four-door. That's what's kind of weird about a lot of the cars here is the 50s Holdens look like 50s Chevys, but they're shrunk down. And this one's shrunk down a little bit as well. Very cool car. Mustangs are very popular here. Cool van with a disco ball. Awesome disco ball. How fun. Now I heard they just legalized weed in the ACT and it shows, right? Yeah, there you go. Morning.
Morning.
Oh, pardon. Looks familiar, sort of. Falcon Ranchero. Nice Jag. Valiant. Looks familiar.
So I made a blue and white stripe one.
Here's another call for our concours and special group
I was told that red was a popular color for MGs down here. I don't see too many of them in the States. More British racing green than red.
We also mentioned that 8:15
Another Toronto.
will be a welcome to country.
Just absolutely every kind of car you'd ever want to see. Some wild Holden rebadge. I don't even know what that is. So it's kind of fun, is I usually know just about every car I see, and this is a challenge to learn all the new ones. The Balwell was the one I had no idea about today. Nice little Triumph sedan.
How many you got? Have a look.
1983 called, wants their interior back. Oh, and a Rolls Royce. A Spur. Same color as mine. Similar interior. Except this one is the very rare moving under its own power edition. Which mine actually does. I've got a few things to sort out with it. And it'll be ready to sell. Spur. Ooh, just a special. Murano. Proper Chrysler. Plymouth Cuda. Holden Commodore. Boxy, but good. Kingswood over there. Fairlane, four-door Fairlane. A little bit smaller than our LTDs of similar ilk. Sandman Ute. Some definite American market cars.
Hello.
all kinds of people show up. Place is absolutely crowded. And show you my ride for the day. I'll be going up in this nice little red MGB. It was this or a Reliant Robin, which I wasn't too sure was going to show up. So I chose the MG. It shows the sure bet. Gonna pan around, show you the extent of it all here. This is probably, I'd say 5 or 6 football fields, maybe more, maybe 10 football fields worth of cars, all parked out here, all lined up. They do a great job of marshaling everybody in, and they flag everyone off. Everyone gets a checkered flag when they go start on the route. Here's the man in charge of the whole thing.
And your whereabouts?
That's Paul, the director of the museum.